Hello, baseball fans. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and today is week number 4 of our 1976 Status Pro Game of the Week replay. Today's matchup features Randy Jones and the San Diego Padres welcoming John Denny and the St. Louis Cardinals to Jack Murphy Stadium. And Jones in 1976, a 22-14 record, 2.74 ERA, was the NL Cy Young Award winner and also an All-Star. It was his second consecutive 20-win season after going 8-22 in 1974, and would also be his last 20-game season as injuries and basically the league catching up to him kind of began a downward trajectory starting in 1977. Jones was a sinker ball pitcher, did not have a lot of heat, probably topped out at low 80s. Just had good junk, moved the ball around well, kept it down in the strike zone, which enabled him to have his limited successful run. And you can see on his card, against lefties only 3 strikeouts and righties only 2. So he was one I just wanted to get in to this replay. He was a kind of zany character and, you know, fun to watch pitch, as a few people were back in the day. So the lineup for this one, for the Cardinals, leading off Bake McBride in center, Vic Harris at second, Lou Brock in left field, Ted Simmons behind the dish, Reggie Smith in right, Mike Anderson at first base, Hector Cruz at third, Don Kessinger over from the Cubs at shortstop. And remember Kessinger, a prominent fixture in our 1969 payoff pitch Fergie Jenkins replay. And again, John Denny on the hill for the visiting Redbirds. The Padres lineup leading off left fielder Johnny Grubb, Tito Fuentes at second, Willie Davis in center, Dave Winfield in right, Doug Rader at third, Mike Ivey at first, Hector Torres at short, Fred Kendall behind the plate, and of course Jones on the hill. So for Jack Murphy, where the game has been played, 28 or less will mean some type of good stuff adjustment, and there is no bad stuff adjustment here, so a pitcher's ballpark. So we will roll, and again looking for 28 or less. Denny first, he does not get it. Randy Jones, let's see if he does, and he does not either. So both pitchers will have their normal stuff, which for Jones is 4.7 against lefties, 2.7 against righties. Denny is 2.8 against lefties and 4.7 against righties. So let's play ball. And one more housekeeping item to mention. I've gone from a 1D20 for the clutch checks to a 1D12. Did some mathematical calculations this morning, and this fits better in overall to the gameplay and is going to allow us to flip one less card. So on a roll of 1, if it comes off the pitcher's card, it will be a clutch defensive check, and for clutch D, that can be runners on base or no runners. If the result comes off the batter's card, it will be a clutch batting check, and a reminder for clutch batting, it has to be there has to be runners on base. The other thing, I'm going to use this for error checks as well. 11 and 12 will be an error check, and that will be determined rolling an additional 1d20 as the player's error ratings go from 0 to 20. So that is the only change, and I'm going to see how this works, as I'm still looking to find a comfortable, not that the flow of play is bad, I just like to tweak things and play around with different things. So in this game, played 423-76, the Padres came out on top 5-1 as Jones spun a 4-hitter. So we will see if he can match that as Bake McBride steps up for the Cards. And we are going to be underway. So 9, that's going to come off McBride's card, and 15 against Jones. He's going to lead off the game with a single, right back up the middle. And McBride is a stolen base rating of B. He's going to stay put early in the game. Vic Harris will be the batter. So 5-0 there, 17 coming off of Harris's card, and against the left-hander, that is going to be a deep shot. So Harris drives a long ball, and then Jack Murphy 11-47 is a home run, and anything less than 52 is an out. So Harris drives that back, and it is going and caught against the wall out in left field. And making a nice play out there is the Padres left fielder Johnny Grubb. And he collides against the wall and falls, which is going to allow McBride to get to second base. So sacrifice fly on the out to left field. Runner at second base and one down. Lou Brock, the batter. 9 going to be off Brock's card. 58 against the left-hander. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Jones, the rare K, and he fooled Brock, locked him up with a sinker at the knees. Ted Simmons up now. Runner on scoring position for the Cardinals catcher. And 47 off of Jones' card against the switch hitter, so it'll be a right-handed batter. And Jones, that is going to be retired. No error check on the 1D12. So that will be a fly out to right field, and the Cardinals are retired. They have a hit, leave one, going to the bottom of the first inning. No score in this one. Johnny Grubb leading it off against John Denny. And 10, this would have been a clutch batting check if a runner was on base. Not the case. So 12 off of Grubb's card. That's going to be a single into left field. So both leadoff batters start things off well for the respective sides. And Grubb has speed of D. There is no way he is going anywhere on the base paths unless a hit makes him go somewhere. Tito Fuentes batting left-handed. So result will come off of Denny's card, and 21 versus the lefty. That's going to be a single to center. And off the pitcher's card, 36, Grubb has an OBR of D as well. I'm just going to switch my charts here, 1 second. All right, so going first to third off the pitcher's card, a roll of 36, and that is going to go against the outfielder's arm. So out in center is Willie Davis. He has an arm of 1, not very good, and Grubb's going to make it to third easily. So back-to-back singles for Fuentes and Grubb, and that brings up Willie Davis. Runners on the corner. 8, and against the left hand, that's going to come off Denny's card. 25, that's going to be a single to right field. So coming in to score on that is Grubb. And the RBI single for Davis, and again off the pitcher's card, so this will be off the right fielder's arm. And out there in right field is Reggie Smith. He has an arm of 3. 57, first to third. And it's going to be a close play, but in under the tag is Fuentes, so runners remain at the corner, still nobody out, as the Padres off to a great start, and the dangerous youngster Dave Winfield in the early stages of an exceptional career. 6 is going to be off of Denny's card, and 71, that will finally be an out, no error. And Winfield, the right-handed power hitter, drives a deep shot to the track in left field, and that's going to bring home the second run of the day. But the first out as Fuentes crosses a plate, and back to first goes Willie Davis. So 1 down now, runner on first base for Doug Rader. And again, coming off of Denny's card and 68, that is going to be a clutch fielding result. So RN, that'll be a G6A. And on the clutch fielding chart, at shortstop for the Cardinals, Don Kessinger has a clutch D rating of 1. So not as proficient as he was in his days with the Cubs. So 68. 68 on a G6A. Column B, that's going to be a single to center field. Runners advance 2 bases, so unable to come up with that is Kessinger. And 4th hit of the inning for the Padres, and we have runners at the corners now as Mike Ivy steps up. And Ivy, 7, again coming off of Denny's card, and those low numbers are killing him. That's going to be a single into center field, and another run comes in to score. And again, off the pitcher's card, let's go off the center fielder's arm, which Davis is an A, and over to third base easily goes Doug Rader. So the Padres, no mercy in the first inning as their third run comes home. Still only one out, still runners at the corners. And Denny, he's already up to 8 in his reduction. And he only has a stamina of 14. So 7 and 74, that is finally going to be an out for Torres. And Torres fly ball to center field. And F8. Runner on third, and he is going to hold the shallow fly out, so 2 down. Runner still at the corner for Fred Kendall. And 12, we're going to have a potential error here. This is going to come off Kendall's card, 62. And that is going to be an out. So Kendall, a deep fly ball to left field, and in left field for the Cardinals is Lou Brock, who has an error rating of 2, so 2 or less, and makes the play, juggles it, and pulls it in, so side is retired, but not before the Padres. Plate 3 runs on 5 hits, and Denny very shaky to start this game. We head to the top of the second inning. Our score 3-0, Pods in the lead, and Reggie Smith leading it off for the Cardinals. And 7, that's going to be off Jones' card, and Jones has a very large outrange on his cards as Smith. Right-handed power hitter, and that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, 1 down. Next up is first baseman Mike Anderson coming off Anderson's card, 28 versus a lefty, and that's going to be a single into right field. So ground ball in the hole as Mike Anderson rounds first. And again, if you're joining late, doing error checks only on 11 and 12 on the 1D12 dice. So 72, that's going to be an out off of Hector Cruz's card. And a fly to deep right field, and going back to pull that in comfortably a step in front of the wall is Dave Winfield. And back to first goes Anderson, so 2 down now for Don Kessinger, the Cardinal shortstop. 8 going to be off Kessinger's card, and clutch batting result as well. So Kessinger versus the left-hander, and 25, he is not a clutch batter. That's going to be an out, would have been a hit otherwise. So failing to come through when the chips were down is Kessinger. And against the left-hander, that's going to be another deep fly to left field. And again, on the track to pull that in is Johnny Grubb. And the side is retired, so the Cards waste a hit. Kessinger and Cruz both gave the ball a ride, but Jack Murphy held it. We head to the bottom of the second, 3-0. Pods on top, Randy Jones hitting, 41 off the Jones card. Swing and a miss, Denny strikes him out. So Jones gets the big flail away and heads back to the dugout. Johnny Grubb, top of the order, coming off Denny's card again, 32 versus the left-hander, and that's going to be another strikeout. So Grubb gets rung up, and Denny, after a very rough first inning, is finding his sea legs here in the second as Tito Fuentes steps up. 72, that's going to be an out, and Fuentes against the right-hander, that's going to be a ground ball right back to Denny, and Denny flips that over to first base. Gloved by Mike Anderson, and the Pods are retired in order in the second inning, which was sorely needed by Denny after a rough first inning. So we head to the top of the third, 3-0. Padres still in the lead, and Denny's going to hit. So 6 coming off Jones' card and Denny the right-hander, and Denny, he's going to help his own cause with a single into left field, and Jones, reduction point number 3. Jones has a fatigue rating of 16, so he is good at this point. And Bake McBride, top of the order, 27 off McBride's card versus the lefty, and that's going to be a double into center field. Running Denny is a E-rated runner, so he is probably not going to go anywhere. 32 and an E, and he is second, third only. So the Cards now threatening runners on second, third, nobody out, and Jones, not a strikeout pitcher, but that's what he needs, and we're going to have a clutch result, going to be a clutch defense coming off of Jones' card. So clutch D against the right-handed batter, and that's going to be shortstop. And actually on the advanced you go by, ignore that, so it's going to be G6. And 68, so that's short for the Pods, is Hector Torres. He has a clutch D rating of 1. Not very good, so it's going to come off of the column B. And G6, it's going to be a single to center field. Runners advance one base. So McBride has to stay put at third, and Vic Harris comes through with an RBI single, and the Cardinals are on the board. Score it 3-1, and coming up is Lou Brock, the dangerous Lou Brock. Still nobody out in this inning. Jones needs to get a double play here. Hard to do against Brock when he's hitting. 6 going to be off Jones' card, and 42. And that will be an out, no error check, and Brock is going to ground that down to first base, and the only play is going to be to the bag. So coming in to score is Bake McBride. Over to second goes Vic Harris, and the Cards have cut this to 1 on the unassisted ground out to first base by Lou Brock. Ted Simmons up now. Jones gets a sign, comes home. Going to be a possible error check. 28 off of Simmons' card against the left-hander. That's going to be a double into left field. And coming in to score, we're going to be tied, is Vic Harris. So RBI there, and in left field for the Padres, Johnny Grubb is a 2. So no error there, but the Cardinals have knotted this up. Still only 1 down, as Reggie Smith up with a chance to give the Cardinals a lead. 6, that's going to be off Jones's card. That will be an out. And right-handed power hitter, a fly ball to left field. Runner's going to hold at second, 2 away. Jones, both pitchers having their struggles early in this one as Mike Anderson steps up. 9 going to be off Anderson's card, and 38 versus the left-hander. And Jones freezes him with a sinker at the knees, called strike 3, so Anderson is retired, as are the Pods, but they come up with 3 runs on 4 hits. Leave 1 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We're all tied up at 3 in this one, as Willie Davis set to hit for the Padres against John Denny. 9 going to be off Davis's card, no error check, 72. And that is going to be a ground ball down to second base. So Vic Harris whips that over to first, 1 down for the Padres. Dave Winfield, the batter. And going to be off Denny's card, a result of 28 versus the right-hander, and Denny walks him. So Dave Winfield draws a base on balls, and he is a speed of A. Winfield's going to try and steal here. That was a 3. 35 and 35 for the A, and he's going to have to hold. So next batter up, Doug Rader. Denny with a sign, kicks, delivers, and off of Denny's card, 54 or 55, that's going to be an out. And Rader pops it up and into shallow left field, running back to get that. Kessinger pulls it in, and 2 down. For the Padres is Mike Ivy, first baseman, and he singled and knocked in a run his first time up. It's going to be off Denny's card, and 81 will be an out. And for Ivy, a fly ball to right field and shallow territory, and no problem out there. Can of corn for Reggie Smith. So the Pods, no hits, no runs, no errors. They leave one on the walk as we head to the top of the 4th inning, and this game is all tied up at 3. Hector Cruz leading off for the Cardinals against Jones. 43 off of Jones' card with a possible error. And for Cruz, right-handed power hitter against a left-hander. That's going to be a ground ball down to 3rd base. And at 3rd base for the Pods, Raider has an error rating of 5, and he boots it. So we will get the error type. Infield error is going to be a 3. And GX5. 3rd baseman throws ball in the dirt. First can't come up with it. E5. Runners advance 1 base. Batter to first. So there you have it. Hector Cruz on board due to the throwing error. And yeah, I think I'm going to like doing the errors this way. It adds some randomness, and it can come up on any time instead of checking on every single play. There's roughly a 20% chance for the possible error in the fast action deck, and it equates out to about the same with the using the 1d12 to determine errors. So 9, and that's going to be off Kessinger's card, 42 versus a left-hander, and Jones plunks him. So Randy Jones is definitely struggling now, a hit batter, and he's up to 9 now on his fatigue reduction. You do not get gigged for an error. John Denny, the pitcher, up. He's going to lay down a bunt. And 61, John Denny is a double-A sacrifice. And a double-A roll of 61, and that is going to be a great bunt, and we have the defensive option again. But Denny, he is E runner, so it needs to be 28 or less to be a base hit, and not going to happen. But he puts runners at the corners. 5-3 on the putout, and 1 down, back to the top of the order. And Bake McBride steps in for the Cardinals. 51. What the hell was I doing there? 51 off McBride's card against the left-hander. That is going to be an out, no error. And ground ball down to 1st base. So runners on 2nd, 3rd, G3. And OBRA on 3rd scores. That is not the case, so he's going to be held there. So a good defensive play by Mike Ivy, and that prevents a run from scoring. So 2 down now. Anything that the Cards do get is going to be unearned at this point. Vic Harris, the batter. And 8, that's going to be off Harris's card, 86. And that is going to be a pop fly into foul territory at 1st base. And going to take care of that is Ivy, and side is retired. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 left as the E5 and a hit batter. Give the Cards some base runners, but Jones able to extricate himself out of it. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning, still tied at 3. And Hector Torres, the batter. And 21 off of Torres' card versus the right-hander, and he's going to lace that down the right field line, and that is going to be a double, and I don't need to flip that. And for Denny, he's now at 10, so we're going to get some action in the St. Louis bullpen. I was hoping we'd get to see the Mad Hungarian today, but instead, Eric Rasmussen is going to begin warming up for the Cards. As Fred Kendall, batter, here comes the pitch, and 2. 81 off of Kendall's card, that is going to be an out. And fly ball to deep left field. And going back to the track to haul that in is Brock. And runner on second base. OBRA goes second to third. And Torres is as far from that as you can get. He's an E. So that'll bring up the pitcher spot, Randy Jones. And Jones, he is a AA sacrifice. He's going to try and lay down a bunt as well. 53 and 53 sacrifice, runner advance, batter out 5-3. So that gets the runner to third, 5-3 on the putout. Sacrifice hit for Jones. Back to the top of the order, Johnny Grubb now. Go ahead, run, 90 feet away. Grubb digs in. Here comes a pitch. And 11's going to be a potential error. 75 off of Denny's card is going to be an out. And the Grubster, that's going to be a fly ball to deep center field. And in center field, Bake McBride is a 2. He should get to this no problem, and he does. So nice running catch for McBride, and the Padres are retired. As we head to the 5th, still tied at 3 in this one. As the speedy Lou Brock set to lead things off for the Cards, and 1, it's going to be off Jones' card, a clutch defense result. And for Brock, that's going to be a ground ball down to first base, and clutch defense for first baseman Ivy is a 2. Roll of 15. And that goes to column A. And G3, Ivy makes the play and beats Brock to the bag, 1 down. So Brock retired 3 unassisted, and Ted Simmons the batter. Here comes a pitch, and 27 off of Jones' card against the right-hander, and that is going to be an out, and we'll have another clutch defensive check. And that'll be a fly ball to deep center field, and in center field for the Padres, Willie Davis is a 3 clutch defense, 27. And piece of cake there as Davis, a spectacular catch of a deep fly, and makes it look easy, robbing Simmons of extra bases. Yeah, so the new clutch D on advanced works like, I guess, compared to payoff pitch, kind of like the range play. And I actually like what it adds to the game versus the initial or the original version. 13 to the switch hitting Smith, who's batting right-handed off Jones' card. That is going to be a single. So Randy Jones, he is at 10 now, fatigue. Definitely not either man's sharpest outing of this. This is going to be a potential error check off Mike Anderson's card. 72 is going to be an out. And RN, that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. And at second base for the Pods is Tito Fuentes, and he is an error rating of 5. And makes the play, and side is retired. So Fuentes, a nice backhanded stab of that. As the Cardinals get another hit, leave a base runner, we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still tied up at 3 in this one. And starting next inning, the pitchers, both starters, will start getting an extra fatigue point for each inning they begin. This will be a clutch defensive check. So for Fuentes, left-handed normal hitter, and that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. Clutch defense for the Cardinals. Vic Harris is a 4, and roll of 46 on the 4. And Harris makes a nice play on that, and that will be a simple 4-3 put out as he makes it look easy. So Fuentes is retired. Willie Davis up, and it's going to be off Davis's card, a potential error on a 12, and Davis drives that into left field. So the single there, and in left field is Brock, who is a 2, and should be no issue with him fielding that. Not. So Davis on at first base. Yeah, I definitely am going to stick with the 1d12 for the dice and clutch checks. I like how it's coming up, and then the amount at this point of errors that have come up as well. So 5 for Big Dave Winfield, going to come off of Denny's card, and 35 the right-hander. And that's going to be a walk. So Denny now, he's up to 12, and he only has 2 more to go. So this could potentially be his last inning as Doug Radar steps in. 31 to Raider, and that's going to be another base on balls allowed. So Denny has loaded the sacks. He is at 13. And they are going to give him 1 more batter. So if Ivy gets on, he's going to have to come out. So Denny needs to get Ivy retired. And reason being, they don't want to use a pitcher for 2 outs and have to pinch hit in the bottom of the inning. So 6 going to be off of Denny's card, and that's not going to get it done. That's a single to left. So advancement off the pitcher's card, and we're talking second to home here, 62. And single off the pitcher's card, and left field, Brock has a 2. So 62, and they're just going to go station to station, but that's going to chase John Denny as the Padres come up with their 4th run on the RBI single by Mike Ivy. And we are going to have a pitching change and timeout for that. All right, so Eric Rasmussen, the new St. Louis pitcher, and Rasmussen in 1976 was 6-12 with a 3.53 ERA. He actually also was a starter, started about half the games, but they're going to use him to hopefully get 2 outs here. We'll actually just get a single out and get to the bottom of the inning. So final line for Denny. Again, a very unproductive outing as he goes 4 1/3 innings is all. Gives up a total of 8 hits, and at this point 4 runs. He's responsible for everybody that is still on base, and they are loaded. So Rasmussen with a tall order as Hector Torres steps up to the plate. Here comes a pitch, and that's going to be a potential error check, and that'll be off Torres's card, 36 versus the right-hander, and that will be an out. So Torres pop fly to the catcher, and behind the plate for the Cards, Ted Simmons has an error rating of 3, and he's going to make the play. So a big out as the bases remain loaded now, and 2 outs, and looking to get out of this and limit the damage. Fred Kendall, a batter 10, going to be off Kendall's card, 36 against the right-hander, and Kendall draws the base on balls. That's going to force in a run, so second of the inning. As Kendall with the RBI, and that will bring up Randy Jones, and Jones are going to let him hit away, and he is a horrendous hitter. 11 to 61 strikeouts, so he's got to hope something comes off Rasmussen's card here. 6, and it does, and it's going to be a clutch defense check. So Randy Jones hits right-handed, line drive to the shortstop, and at short, Kessinger is a clutch D of 1. However, a roll of 12, that's going to get it done, and the L6 pops him up actually, and it's not pops up. A line out and lead runner will be doubled off, but it's the 3rd out anyway. So the Padres sent 8 men to the plate, get 2 runs on only 2 hits due to 3 walks been issued. Also closes the book on Denny, who will be charged officially with 5 earned runs. So we're through 5, and Padres lead this one 5-3. Randy Jones still on the hill. And coming up for the Cards, it's going to be the pitcher spot after Cruz and Kessinger both hit. So we're going to have a pinch hitter, and Danny Frizella is warming up down in the St. Louis bullpen as well. And Willie Crawford is going to be set to hit for the pitcher. So there we go. Hector Cruz and Randy Jones off of his card. 42 is going to be an out. And for Cruz, that's a ground ball down to shortstop. No problem there for Hector Torres. One down. Don Kessinger, the batter. Kessinger on the day, 1 for 2. Fly out in a single. 8 is going to be off Kessinger's card. And 16 against the left-hander. That's going to be a ground ball right back up the middle for a base hit. So Jones, his time is coming to an end as well. He's now at 11. Pitcher spot up, and Denny will be gone. And for Sella, his batting card is a 30. So I'm going to get that out and put that in now so I remember. So then another good thing about the set that Derek does, if the pitchers have a significant amount of at-bats or inflated stats one way or another, like Jones has a ton of strikeouts, they get their own cards, and then everybody else, he's got 30 different fringe batting cards that go to the rest of the pitchers, and you can see that's basically terrible. He strikes out every time off of his card. But after Willie Crawford pitch hits, we'll be back to the top of the order. So 1 down, runner at first base, and Crawford the pinch hitter. Jones has a sign, kicks, delivers. And 9 going to be off Crawford's card, 58 against the left hand. That's going to be a walk. So Crawford gets things done, and Jones now at a 12. So that's going to get things busy in the San Diego Padres bullpen. And a little bit early for their closer, Butch Metzger, so we will have Dave Tomlin up and throwing. As Jones faces Bake McBride. McBride has a couple of hits today, double and a single. He scored a run. 11 coming off McBride's card again. It's going to be an error check, and that is going to be a single back up the middle. So center field, first we will check the error, which I should have done this way last time. In center field for the Padres is Willie Davis. It needs to be a 1, so he's safe there. And now let's do advancement. So second to home, Kessinger is a D. And off the batter's card, second to home on a single. A D is going to be station to station, so the sacks are going to be loaded. As McBride has his 3rd hit of the day. And that brings up Vic Harris with a chance to either tie this or give the Cardinals a lead. And 13 for Randy Jones. He's basically hanging on by a thread here in the 6th inning. 16 and 8, and it's not going to get any better. However, for Vic Harris, 18 is going to be a strikeout against the left-hander. So Randy Jones comes up big with a K, swing and a miss. And that is a 2nd out of the inning. So Jones summons back, reaches back and gets a couple extra miles on that fastball, getting it up to 86 and gets him retired. So 4 off the Jones card. 37 against Brock, that is going to be an out. And the speedy Brock grounds it down to shortstop, and he's going to be retired on a nice throw by Torres. So Jones loads him up and dodges a bullet, a big strikeout of Vic Harris, and then gets Lou Brock to ground out. So we're heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 5-3 as the Cardinals strand 3, get a couple of hits and a walk in that inning, and Johnny Grubb set to lead it off for the Padres. And Randy Jones, his night is not going to last much longer here. 6 going to be off Rasmussen's card. Or I'm sorry, Rasmussen is going to be replaced. So he only goes 2/3 of an inning. Gives up no hits, no runs, and a walk. And coming on for the Cardinals will be Danny Frizella. And Frizella, right-hander, had a ERA of 3.97, no record. He did have a save in 1976. So it will be Frizella facing Grubb. And we'll just start again. So here we go, bottom of the 6th inning, Grubb up and coming off Frizella's card. He's 2-9, by the way, against lefties and 2-4, a terrible 2-4 against righties. But 61, and that is going to be an out. And Johnny Grubb, left-handed batter. It's going to be a ground ball down to second base, so 1 down. Tito Fuentes, and Fuentes has a single and a run scored. He's grounded out twice. Potential error check, and the switch hitting Fuentes hitting left-handed here. So 46 going to be off Frizella's card, and that's going to be no run, wild pitch will not apply, so that'll be an out. And for Fuentes, it'll be a ground ball down to shortstop, and at shortstop for the Cards is Kessinger, and he has an error rating of 5. And Kessinger's going to make the play, so 6-3 on the putout. 2 down. And Willie Davis, the batter. Padres holding a 5-3 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning off of Davis's card. A potential error check, 42 versus the right-hander. And 42 is going to be an out. So that's going to be a fly ball into right field, and right field for the Cards, Reggie Smith is a 1. He gets to that piece of cake, and side is retired in order by Frizella. So 3 up, 3 down, and we are through 6, and Padres holding a 5-3 lead, and on the mound for the Padres, Randy Jones. He is coming to the end of his road here. 64. He actually can only allow a single base runner, and he'll be done after this inning if he can't start the 8th, because he'll get a point for that. So he has 1 base runner to get through, and he will be done for the day. 64 off of Ted Simmons' card. That is going to be a out and potential error check. Fly ball into left field. And error rating for 2 for Johnny Grubb. And Grubb barely makes the play, almost drops that, but sucks it back in last minute. So 1 down as Jones gives him a wink and breathes a sigh of relief. Reggie Smith, the batter. And 76, that's going to be an out. And the power hitting switch hitter is going to line that to shortstop. So a nice play at short by Hector Torres. 2 down, and Randy Jones 1 out away from getting through 7 innings. 72-6, that's going to be off Jones' card, so it'll be a clutch fielding result. And Anderson, their right-handed batter, fly ball into left field, and clutch defense is 3 for Johnny Grubb. And 72 is going to go to column B. And left field, single falls in front of fielder. So that's going to do it for, well, we'll see. That takes Jones to his fatigue point. Now he can face another batter. He just goes down, so he would be a 2-6 versus lefty and a 4-7 versus righty. He's going to go 1 more batter. They're going to try and get him out of this inning. So 6 coming off Jones' card, and 1. It's going to be... going to be a clutch defensive play again, and that's not going to be good. I can tell you that right now. So for Cruz, Cruz is going to be a power hitter against the left hand. That's a pop fly to shortstop. And at shortstop is Torres, and he's a clutch D of 1. And F6 is going to be a bloop single to left field. The runners advance 1 base, and Jones is going to have to be replaced. So Randy Jones, he goes 6 2/3 innings in this one. A shame he's not going to be able to complete the 7th at least. Gives up 6, 9, 11 hits. 3 runs to this point and on the hook for 2 more. He hit a batter, and in terms of walks and strikeouts, had a walk and 3 strikeouts. Let me make sure of that. Thought he struck out 4, but nope, walk and 3 strikeouts, so about normal for his output there. And the new pitcher is going to be Dave Tomlin for the Padres. And Tomlin, one thing I should have been doing and was not doing is checking reliever stuff when they come in too. And again, you can't have bad stuff here in Jack Murphy, but you can have good stuff, and Tomlin will have normal stuff. So Jones on the hook for both base runners. There are 2 outs, and Don Kissinger, the batter for the Cardinals. The left-handed Tomlin, and my goodness, 7. It's 7. That's going to be actually off of no, that'll be off Tomlin's card. Well, no, Kissinger's switch hitter, so he'll be batting left-handed. Never mind. So versus a left-hander, 2-6. That'll be a clutch batting result off Kissinger's card. Second time he's had that chance, and second time he chokes. 23-88 in outrange against left-handers. So Kissinger fails to come through again, and that's going to be a harmless ground ball to second base. Inning is over. So the Cards strand a couple on a couple of hits, and we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, as Dave Winfield set to lead it off for the Padres. And Frizella, get a fatigue point. His relief rating is 5, by the way. And this will be his last inning anyway, as he's set to lead off in the 8th inning. So 2 Winfield, 9 is going to be off Winfield's card, and 24 against the right-hander. And Winfield is going to lace a double down the left field line. So the Padres, both teams actually, have had a few extra base hits in this one, and a good start to the inning for San Diego. As that brings up Doug Radar, and the Padres and Radar looking for insurance here. 3 going to be off Frizella's card. And against the right-hander, that's barely off. He's only 2-4 against righties, remember. And 53, and that's going to be a base on balls. So Frizella, that is his 3rd fatigue point. Mike Ivy, the batter, and Ivy, another right-hander. Frizella 6 is going to be off of Ivy's card, and 82 will be an out. And it's going to be a ground ball down to third base, and GX5 and third baseman Cruz is going to take it to the bag himself to retire Winfield. So to second goes Radar, and at first base will be Ivy on the fielder's choice. And we have Hector Torres up now, 1 down, runners on first and second. Coming off of Torres' card, and 14 versus the right-hander. That's going to be a single into center field. And Winfield is an A. Is he going to get to score? Runner advancement, single to center, and Winfield comes in easily. And the Padres, no play on the runner going to third, so Padres will have runners at the corners, and they now lead this 6-3 as Winfield scores on the RBI single by Torres. And Frizella has reached his fatigue point. And they're going to leave him in to pitch to Fred Kendall, and Kendall a right-handed batter, so this will be 2-3 for Frizella. Been off Kendall's card anyway, and 47 will be an out. And RN pops him up into foul ground, and first baseman Mike Anderson makes a play, so a big out there for Frizella, and 2 down. And Dave Tomlin they're going to leave in the game another inning, so they're going to let him hit. And he is a he'll also be a 30, so we'll just leave this card here. We have two. All right, so 30 for Tomlin. And 7, and Tomlin is left-handed, so that is going to be off Frizella's card. And 38, he's going to draw the base on balls. Let me make sure he hits right-handed or left-handed. Yep, no, he does. He is left-handed, so that's going to be a base on balls. So terrible luck there for Frizella. As the pitcher, Tomlin draws a walk. So that is going to actually load the bases up. And back to the top of the order, and basically Frizella is shot. He's a 2-2 against righties. And will be a 2-4-7 against lefties now. They're going to leave him out there. Try and get out of this. 5-11, and I don't know why. Single, and that's going to get another run in. So infield single by Johnny Grubb, and I should not have tormented Frizella. I've got to replace him now. So Frizella to the dugout, and that's going to bring in Laren LeGros just to try and get the heck out of this inning. So Frizella, he's going to go an inning and 2/3. Had a great first inning, 6. He set the Pods down in order, not so much in the 7th as he's given up 3 hits and 2 walks. And on the hook for 2 runs as well as everybody on base. So Tito Fuentes now sacks loaded. And Laren LeGros to the left-hander. And he is a 2-9 against lefties, so coming off LeGros' card, and 77, going to be an error check though. And Fuentes, it's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, and at shortstop for the Cards is Kessinger, who once again is a 5. And Kessinger makes a play, and mercifully the inning is over. But the Padres tack on a couple more, and do so on 3 hits and a couple of walks. That will close the book on Frizella. So we are through 7 innings, and San Diego leads this one 7-3. And for St. Louis, LeGros is due up in the 8th, so we will have a pinch hitter. And a new pitcher. And just because I like him and he needs a little bit of extra work, we're going to see the Mad Hungarian, Al Raboski. One of the most colorful characters of the 70s. Probably second only to Fidrich in terms of a character. So LeGros only goes 1/3 of an inning and gets the out. And Gary Templeton set to hit now for the Cardinals and facing Dave Tallman. And Tallman starting his second inning. All right, so 15 and 10 off of Templeton's card versus the left-hander, and it's going to be a single to left field. So the hit parade continues for both teams as this has turned into a sometimes sloppy and sometimes entertaining, but not the crispest baseball game you will ever see. So up next is Bake McBride and the left-hander, and that's going to be off of Tallman's card, 63. It'll be an out. And McBride, that's going to be a ground ball back to Tallman, and he's going to go the short way to second to retire Templeton, 1-6, and on with a fielder's choice is McBride. So one down for Vic Harris. Here comes a pitch from Tallman. 9, that's going to come off of Harris's card. 83 will be an out. And Tallman, ground ball down to second base, and that is going to be a 5-4-3 double play. Nice pivot there. So Fuentes and Radar turn the double play, and the inning is over. The Cards get a hit, but no runs, and Tallman actually now, that will be a 1-point reduction, so he's going to get a chance to finish this one in the 9th and pick up a 2 1/3 inning save. So the Mad Hungarian on the hill for the Cards now, and Roboski used to have the big intimidating beard, long hair, would meditate behind the mound, slam the ball into the glove, and stalk to the mound staring down the hitter. One of the best things to watch in baseball when he came into the game. Very entertaining. 8. And against the left-hander, he's going to be 2-6. Right-hander's 2-8. So this will be off of Davis's card. And Davis, 27, he's going to lope that into the gap, and he's going to end up with a double. He says, "You don't intimidate me." So the hits just keep on coming for the Padres. Leadoff double against Roboski here in the bottom of the 8th inning as Dave Winfield up. Off Roboski's card, 88 is going to be an out, but it will be an error check. Right-handed power, that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. Get the runner to third regardless. And on the error, Vic Harris is an 8. And wow, makes a nice play to retire Winfield. So one down for Doug Radar, and another run is 90 feet away. 4 are going to be off Roboski's card, and 67 versus the right-hander is going to be an out. And Radar, that's a fly ball to center field. And that is not going to get in a run, shallow. So holding at third is Davis, and 2 down now for Mike Ivy. And Roboski off of his card, but 12, and that is going to drive in yet another run as Ivy lashes that into left field, single. So coming in to score is Willie Davis, and the Padres have extended their lead to 8-3 in this one. And this game has gotten out of hand as Hector Torres up to the plate. And they can't even do anything. Even the Cards closer can't shut down this powerful San Diego attack. 8. 51 is going to be off Roboski's card. That'll be an out. And finally the inning is over. After yet another run comes in as Torres is going to ground that down to shortstop. So the Padres pick up a run on 2 hits. As we head to the top of the 9th inning, and San Diego in control, leading this comfortably 8-3. And for the Cardinals, it'll be Brock, Simmons, and Smith. Tomlin still on the mound. He's only at a 2. That double play in the last inning gave him a break. So against the left-hander, 4 coming off Tomlin's card, 77. That's going to be an out. No error check. As Brock, line drive to the first baseman. 1 down. That was a wicked shot, but no problem for Mike Ivy down there. And 7 versus Ted Simmons, who's hitting right-handed, and that'll be off Tallman's card again, another out. So Tallman In the midst of putting together a pretty good relief appearance here, as Simmons is going to ground that down to third base. So 5-3 on the putout, and Cardinals are down to their final out in the form of Reggie Smith. And 2, nothing on the 1D12. 9 is going to be off Smith's card, 54 against the left-hander, and that is going to be a base on balls. So not going away easy. Tallman up to 3 now. He has a relief fatigue of 4, so one more base runner, and he is done. 9, that's going to be off of Anderson's card, and 35 versus the left-hander. And it's going to be a double down the right field line, so Tallman's going to get chased. And Reggie Smith, he is a C. And with 2 down, that'll be boosted to a B as he looks to score. So 22 and single off the batter's card. He is going to come in to score easily, so the Cardinals cut the lead in half to 8-4. And Tomlin is fatigued and dead tired, but in the bullpen, Butch Metzger starts to throw. He is the Padres closer. They're going to leave Tomlin in for one more batter, the dreaded one more batter. So against righties, he is 4-7 and 2-5 against lefties, so 4-7 against Cruz. Here comes a pitch, and 6. He is 4-7. That's going to be a single off the pitcher's card. Jiminy crickets. And looking to score from second base is Anderson. So 88, it's going to be a challenge play, so single off the pitcher's card and challenge. So on the challenge result, the arm, and again, running, Anderson is a C with the adjustment, and center field arm for the Pods is a 1. So this looks like it's probably going to be another run scored. 24, and that'll hit the runner's rating, and in to score is Anderson. So the lead is cut to 3 on the single by Hector Cruz. And that is going to get rid of Tomlin. So 8-5 now, and Tomlin, he pitched well. I mean, he's credited with 2 full innings. She kind of ran out of gas here, so he gives up 3 hits, 2 runs at this point in time. He walked 1 and had no strikeouts. So this will be a save situation, and Butch Metzger is the new Padre pitcher. And Metzger in 1976, he had a record of 11-4, 16 saves, 2.92 ERA. And remember, closers then were not just 1 inning or 2 batter pitchers. They often went 2 innings, sometimes even 2+. So 6 going to be off Metzger's card against the left-handed hitting Kessinger, and that is going to be yet another single, this time to left. Ay, ay, ay. So, first to third, Hector Cruz will be a B and 73. It's going to be an arm check and left field arm for the Pods. Johnny Grubb is a 3. Single left 3, 11-38, and he's going to have to hold. So station to station on that. I do have to get a little bit quicker on these charts. So we're going to have another pinch hitter. So the Cards refuse to go away. And with the right-handed hitting Metzger, or right-handed pitching Metzger, they're going to go with the young Keith Fernandez. So, or Keith Hernandez. Hernandez comes up to pinch hit for the Cards. Metzger only needs to get one out, and runners on first and second. Here we go. And 4 coming off Metzger's card, and 45 is going to be a base on balls. So the sacks are loaded, and we can't get out of this without drama. It is 8-5, and the go-ahead run is coming to the plate in the form of Bake McBride. So Metzger, and his relief rating is a 6. Currently at a 2, looking to retire McBride and end this game. 6 against the left-hander, going to be off Metzger's card, and 36, and struck him out. So Metzger, the high heat, and gets McBride swinging, and the game is finally over. A lengthy, brutal game. So for the Cards, they come up with 2 runs on 3 hits, a couple of walks in the top of the 9th. So their final line score for the day is going to be wow. 5 runs on 15 hits, 1 error. And for the Padres, they come up with 8 runs on 13 hits, no errors. The winner in this one is Randy Jones. Rough outing for Jones, but he gets a W. Loser is going to be John Denny, and with the save, Butch Metzger with a shaky 9th. Player of the game. Lots to choose from. None of them will have pitcher after their name, though. For the Padres, we're going to go with Willie Davis. Willie Davis, he was 3 for 5 on the day, had 3 runs scored, also added an RBI. Solid day overall at the plate, so Willie Davis, our player of the game for this one. And that will do it here from Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. The Padres and Randy Jones, Week 4 of our 1976 Status Pro Advanced Replay Series, Game of the Week. Padres win it 8-5, and until next time, keep rolling for the fences, and we'll see you. Have a good day, everyone.